They're never like my good, like high effort takes.
Well, all right, we're on, bro.
What up, unelectables? How you living?
We are back, and at least as adequate as ever.
We fucking roll.
Yep.
I mean, the podcast is a little bit late this week. I thought today was Wednesday. Never mind.
Yeah, we're still
good to
good.
get it out.
We're still good.
We'll try and get it out tomorrow. We had some
Absolutely.
guests fall through, so we're trying to figure it out. But we've been doing lots of streaming this week. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's been good. I think going and doing the
content.
streams.
Lots of content for the unelectable faithfuls.
We got some new unelectables. We ended up picking up like 7 subscribers today alone, so that's nice.
Man.
That is very good for us. And without further ado, let's go ahead with the first story. Something that Matt here took a little bit of a personal stance on with you watch Rising every morning, dude, what you told me, right?
Yeah, man. I watch Rising every morning.
Yeah, and there was
9:30. I'm sitting. I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I sit with the kids, and while they're in, they do e-learning, and I like to have news to watch, and I'm not going to watch the fucking mainstream bullshit, So I put that on, and I enjoy it for the most part, and I enjoy having the mix of the takes. I enjoy having a right-winger's perspective on stuff, especially one
that's more populist, right? Because I mean, Saagar on Rising is known.
That populist is nonsense. Like, the way I think of it is populist is like less full of shit. Because unless you support unions and living wage and simple stuff like that, you're not really a populist. You're just anti-China. That's really what it breaks down to. It's like,
no, that's true.
Like, populist right is really just like warmongers for China, and they're trying to dress it up. Like, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we did this on an episode before. That's like Steve Bannon's thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's his whole thing. Saagar is very much part of that whole camp.
Yeah,
right,
and those guys.
But I can listen to his takes because he does seem reasonable for the most part, and I didn't actually catch the segment, but this was your reaction to it. Here we go. You're done with Rising. Damn, that's some harsh words. Saagar pushing the Pinkerton guy is Antifa narrative was too much for me. Now, we did talk about this story a little bit with
we talked about it right when it broke on Saturday.
Right, yeah, we talked about it in
real life perspective on it. We didn't just,
exactly.
Read fucking Facebook memes uncritically. Which
I think from what we played up on the video, we could clearly see that the dude was getting set to mace this Pinkerton guy, and he got shot.
Yeah,
right.
It's pretty clear cut to me. Like, I don't know. I mean, as much as a self-defense case can be clear cut, these cases are always complex. But you can see it in the video. You can hear it, right? Because you can't see the shooting. It's just photos of it, still shots. But the one where I saw one where they combined it with. Maybe we should put that one in the feed. Where they combined it still shots with the video, and they had it sitting next to each other. So the video is here and the still shots were here, and they were going back and forth. And you hear the mace, you hear it go, and then you hear the gun go off. It's
exactly.
No question. That's what happened.
So why don't we go ahead and watch this clip from Rising then?
For a local TV station. He was jailed over the weekend in connection with the deadly shooting of another man during right and left-wing protests dueling in downtown Denver over the weekend. So the security guard, Matthew Doloff, he's suspected of fatally shooting that man following an altercation during these opposing protests. So Chief Video Director at the Daily Caller, Richie McGinnis, he's here to weigh in on this conflict. It's good to see you again, Richie. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so Richie, I mean, the reason I wanted to have you on here is you've actually been involved in many of these protests, both as somebody behind the camera and somebody who is filming what was going on in both the left and the right-wing environment. So break down what you know for us about this case. As I understand it, the shooter was hired as a security guard by a local news organization. Now, he's not a licensed security guard. Social media posts seem to appear that he has some affiliations with left-wing groups like Antifa. Is that correct? And then what are the circumstances that led to the shooting? Was he instigated? It seems like there was pepper spray involved. Just lay it out for us.
As for your question regarding whether or not he's affiliated with Antifa, we're still going to have to wait a little while for that to really shake out. We saw similar things after other shootings where people want to find out what somebody's ideology is and exactly what the motivations were. Fortunately, with an organization like Antifa, it's intentionally central.
How far are you in it?
Real leadership structure. And so it's difficult unless he literally comes out onto social media and says, I'm a member of Antifa. Right. And it's hard to determine whether or not he actually was a practicing member of that group. Now, as for why he was there the other day on I believe it's Saturday or Sunday, we've gone to a multitude of protests around the country. And
what time are you at?
Any news
about 2 minutes.
Big cameras, they're going to draw
2
a lot
minutes?
of attention
Yeah.
to protesters. And so basically any of those larger networks that are operating with that kind of equipment, they're going to have private security. So when we were in the Chaz, for example, we talked to the Fox News security team, and just speaking with those guys, obviously they are security guards, but they also have private lives. They also have private political positions.
Right.
The particular individuals that we talked to in the Chaz, they seem to be more right-leaning, but
So,
in this case, it does seem that
no
he
reference
more
to,
left-leaning.
like,
And now at these
why
kind of protests where
they have armed security,
sides, the communists and
like,
the patriots, or whatever combination.
because I'm sure that the Black Lives Matter protesters are really messing with the mainstream media.
Absolutely descending into chaos, multiple different instances around the country in the past couple of months, and this is just the latest and obviously a deadly instance of that taking place.
Right, and so this is what I want to make clear. I'm glad that you made that, which is, first of all, you can never really know what somebody believes, right? I mean, I just saw that one of these Michigan people who was arrested for trying to kidnap Governor Whitmer also attended a Black Lives Matter protest because he hated, central authority. So trying to pin these things down is very difficult. So whenever it comes to this, he seems to have not a rightful reason to be there. He was there and he was involved in this particular case. What was happening on the so-called right-wing side? I mean, obviously, an altercation took place. Do we know anything about that altercation?
He was working. That was his job.
And ultimately, why he discharged his weapon and ended up killing this person?
So the man who was killed, Lee Keltner, allegedly was killed, and you see that he actually has bear mace, and that's actually characteristic. A lot of these protests, see the right-wing side usually they're more well-equipped, just generally speaking, in terms of having non-lethal like bear mace, tapers, paintball guns, and things of that sort. We saw that in Portland in August.
Psycho preppers.
Actually, one individual is being charged for shooting a paintball gun in Portland. So he does have some bear mace. But what you can also see in the photos that were taken by a photojournalist who was on the scene is that at the time that the bear mace was
being
discharged, the gun, Doloff has already drawn his gun. And the distance between the two of them at the time the bear mace is discharged is at least 5-10 feet. And at that distance, there's no real lethal threat. I mean, we've been bear maced across the country in multiple cities, and I can attest to the fact that it's not very comfortable, but it's very clear from the photos that what he's holding in his hand is not a firearm, but is in fact a can of bear mace. So I think there can be a lot of questions regarding specifically why that pistol was discharged,
said it was
specifically what threat he felt in front of him.
Right, I think that's the very clear thing about this, which is that, whenever it comes down to self-defense, stand your ground law, and so much more, I don't actually know what the local laws are in Colorado.
Saying
so some
that
of what I've
the
seen
plastic
here,
bag
shows that there was some sort of physical altercation, which appears to have preceded the use.
All right, yeah, I think we got the gist of this thing now. All right, yeah. So that's what
Saagar's take.
That's what Saagar said.
Listen to him. He knows what happened here.
Yeah, I mean, he has to know, right? I mean, it's not a thing like he doesn't.
Well, I'm still watching it.
All right. Yeah, I'll clip it back over here because I think we got most of what we got to get out of that clip. But, all right, so I mean, the framing, was he part of Antifa? I mean, he was a security guard. They're asking like he had no other reason to be there. He was working, you know. So it's not like this is a stretch here to understand what he's doing at these places or at this place when these protesters showed up. You know, we're not talking about a complicated issue here. You know,
just every step of the way, he's just misinforming, bullshitting, and spinning everything, like leaving shit out, adding stuff that doesn't belong, qualifying it, just talking about, like, it's so disingenuous, and I cannot believe they just aired it like this with no challenging anything.
Yeah.
Saagar's just encouraging him the whole time. Like, I kept saying, people kept replying, like, to that post, and I was like, it's when Krystal's there, it's fine because she keeps him in check. She challenges his bullshit, and doesn't get away with it. This is just like the two of them egging each other on. Like, they've been taking a lot of L's lately, right? The far right,
absolutely,
has been busted up their kidnapping plot. They've had violence all over this country. The FBI issues this big report. They have the two guys charged in California, and the two boogaloos. They're just, it's becoming apparent to, it's breaking into the mainstream, right? Like, these guys are out of control. And it's as a result, almost directly, of people like this shithead, this Daily Caller guy, just giving them this echo chamber and this platform to normalize their psycho views and, like, convince them that, like Tim Pool was saying the other night, like we were watching that clip last night, like, they're out to get you, they're coming for you.
It's all a bunch of fear mongering crap, and then
they reinforce it and lie.
Right, but then that also, and that's leading to a lot of these people being out here. Okay, so let me go to the clip for context for what we're talking about here. So here's the Twitter clip.
I sent you?
Yeah.
Don't fucking touch me, man. Don't fucking touch me. Fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out.
It's clear these guys are provoking people. They're spoiling for a fight, right? Like, he's walking around slapping people.
Yeah.
Like, and then he's like, oh, his gun was already pulled. Like, yes, his gun was pulled because he was saying, back the fuck up, like a security guard's supposed to do.
Exactly.
Like, the whole fact that they didn't even mention, like, that just shows you right away, right off the top, that they're already biased as hell by not mentioning why the camera crew has to have security. Like,
exactly.
That's off the top of the bat.
Why is it that they hired a Pinkerton in the first place? What was the reason?
What do you mean? What was the reason? You know the reason.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking you to spell.
We've seen them, like, cheering the president even, but, like, if he's cheering, the chuds are cheering when, like, Ali Velshi got hit, or whoever that was who got hit in Minnesota, shot him with a rubber bullet or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they've been cheering this kind of shit on. So the security has to be hired so that they can report on this stuff, and that's not normal. I mean, it's not normal that, like, reporters have to be worried, fear of their life, and have armed security, Pinkertons no less, when they go out on the street like that.
Well, no, not at all. Since we're on Rising, I think we should just jump over to our favorite host of Rising. Well, should be enough to go ahead and keep watching the show.
I mean, I'll probably watch some of it, but, like, I'm just pissed off. Like, I don't bitch, man. I've never bitched about it like this before. People are always like, oh, she shouldn't be platforming a fascist, and, oh, that's just like a to bait and switch to get the left to vote for Trump. And I've seen all kinds of shit-lib conspiracy takes about it, and it's like, no, it is what they say it is. It's a right-winger and a left-winger, and they talk, right? But they agree on objective facts and keep each other honest. When they do segments like this, it's just straight propaganda. Like, I love Krystal's takes, but she's got good takes, and, like, I like Saagar's takes, but not so much that I like Saagar's takes. It's that I like having
that balance.
No, I like having a right winger who's not just lying.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also a different perspective. I do, but see,
or lies.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I do like that balance. Just speaking for myself, but it's not just propaganda, like you said. It's an actual different perspective. It might be different from mine, but it's not just straight shit that I could just you get from fucking Fox News all day. You know,
exactly.
you get actual dissent from Saagar most of the time, but I mean, no, that's just playing right into all the same kind of bullshit. But let's go ahead and jump to the other host of Rising, which would be Krystal, and she had this to say. Well, she had this tweet out, and this is about an issue that we were talking about a little bit yesterday. Keith Olbermann had said about a Wolf Blitzer and Nancy Pelosi interview, and we'll go to the interview in a second, that Wolf Blitzer is embarrassing, and he owes Speaker Pelosi and his audience an apology. And Krystal,
who said this?
That's Keith Olbermann.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and Krystal had this to say back to him: Pelosi owes the entire nation an apology for preferring political games over actually getting aid to people who are suffering. So, yeah, as we know from what's been going on, there's a $1.8 trillion stimulus bill on the table right now, and Trump is pushing to get that signed. And we had said yesterday, we were kind of speculating about whether it was just about keeping Trump from getting a win. And what happened today, it kind of starts pointing more in that direction as opposed to her actually trying to take some kind of principled stand of any kind, right? So this is the clip over here that I'll play from Twitter that from that interview. So
let me see it. Oh, the Pelosi Wolf Blitzer clip?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I saw that one.
All right.
Yeah, Jimmy Dore did a segment on it where he had more. I don't know. I didn't see any other.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Leave it on the vote that you are not right on this, Wolf, and I hate to say that to you. But I feel confident about it, and I feel confident about my colleagues, and I feel confidence in my chairs.
It's not about me. It's about millions of Americans who can't put food on the table.
And we represent them. And we represent them. And we represent them.
Long food
and we
lines that we're seeing. I know you
know
are.
them.
I'm just saying.
We represent them, and we know them.
As we
say, we know them. We represent them.
Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, as they say.
It is nowhere near perfect.
Madam Speaker.
Always the case, but we're not even close to the good.
All right, let's see what happens, because every day is critically important. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for your sensitivity to our constituents' needs.
I am sensitive to them because I see them on the street begging for food, begging for money. Madam Speaker, thank you so much.
Have you fed them? We feed them. We feed them.
We'll continue this conversation down the road for sure. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Oh, boy. Oh, Madam Speaker. That was not your finest moment.
Yeah.
She asked her at the end, have you fed them? And referring to her constituents. Yeah. She goes on CNN and she gets, I mean, are they just so not used to pushback at all that anything short of genuflecting, it leads to an unhinged rant like that from who's supposed to be the current leader of the Democratic Party, right? I mean, she's the highest. She's the third in line to the presidency. Everybody, all the libs like to Yass Kween over her. You have those stupid pictures that they post up from the tearing of the whatever speech to the whole impeachment shit that she flip-flopped on a bunch of times. What happened to impeachment was too good for him. And then, of course, the whole standing on in front of the desk in front of Trump shit. And
the way she clapped?
Yeah.
That's how I always clap, man. So you're supposed to clap.
Yeah, man. And, I mean, look.
I mean, she even said she wasn't, like,
trying to patronize him or anything.
Yeah,
no,
exactly. She said she wasn't throwing shade. I mean, but then the next year when she ripped the thing.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and but it was really a horrible display when the only push there was trying to get just trying to push for a stimulus bill that might actually help people, and it's a pretty decent middle ground at this point with what the people do actually need. I mean, this whole Congress has fucked us over since they issued one check. That's it. And we're still in the midst of a pandemic. I mean, forget about doing the actual right thing. You know, forget about a UBI, at least for the duration of the pandemic. Really, that should be what's on the table. But you know, it's a total bullshit move by the Democrats. I mean, it's a failure of a move on the Democrats' part because the Republicans won't pass that. You know, I doubt they will pass that. I don't think Senate Republicans will pass the stimulus.
Yeah.
So
they should at least call their bluff, but they should put a good one through. I mean,
this is at least something to help people out with. You know, the unemployment, at least another check, something coming into people that really desperately need it. And at this point, I mean, for the Democrats, it's just really bad strategy because if they do kick that over to the Senate, it'll get shot down, and then the Senate Republicans will automatically take the fall for this. You know, right now Trump can actually has the advantage saying that, well, you know, I have a stimulus on the table, and Pelosi's not wanting to do it because she doesn't want to give me this. It's all about politics for her. I mean, and it really is apparent for that. But we did have more reactions I wanted to go over to. So Kyle actually tweeted out this after the whole Wolf Blitzer rant.
Kyle's corner. It's Kyle's corner.
We might actually have to do a segment since we do cite his stuff a lot, but absolutely disgusting display from Pelosi, comical in its arrogance and stupidity. Read the thread. She has no substantive rebuttal. So yeah, I did want to go through this thread a little bit.
Let's go through the thread because I want to see exactly what she's saying is wrong with it.
All right, so Wolf Blitzer grilling Pelosi on why she won't take the $1.8 trillion deal. Reads Ro Khanna's tweet. I don't know why you're always an apologist, and many of your colleagues are apologists for the Republican position.
Who's saying this to who?
I think that's what Pelosi is saying to Wolf Blitzer.
She said, "Oh,
yeah."
Did she throw shade at Ro Khanna?
Yeah. So yeah, that's exactly what she did. Yes. So this is what she said for the Republican position. Ro Khanna, that's nice. That isn't what we're going to do. So Wolf also says also that he's spoken with Andrew Yang, who says take the deal. Pelosi, honest to God, I really can't get over it because Andrew Yang, he's lovely. Ro Khanna, he's lovely. They're not negotiating this situation. Yikes. With all due respect, you don't really know what you're talking about, Pelosi tells Wolf Blitzer as he presses her on why she won't take the Mnuchin deal. Wolf says Pelosi should call the president and say, let's make a deal. Look, let me say this. The president has sent Mr. Mnuchin to negotiate. They do not share our values. I have little respect that we know something about these subjects. These are incredibly difficult times right now, says Wolf Blitzer. We'll leave it on that note. And you're not right on this, Wolf. It's not about me. It's about millions of Americans. And we represent them. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Why did she do that?
Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Why did she? And then it went on after that, though.
Yeah,
right? That's when they had the whole exchange about
I just wanted
hungry.
Oh, true. Not that one.
What you want?
Yeah, didn't want to do that. Let's do.
Did anybody respond? I want to see what the libs are saying. Like, what's like Iglesias say about that?
Damn it! What happened to my other clip? All right. Anyway, let's go back to these things. So, let's see.
Did you see Mexico's legalizing pot?
Yeah, I caught that. We could go over that if you want to. Just bookmark it. All right. See, Pelosi, thank you for your sensitivity to our constituents' needs. I am sensitive to them because I see them on the street begging for food, begging for money. And then Pelosi, have you fed them? We feed them. We feed them.
That's fucking creepy as shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really bad, bro. Like,
yeah. I don't know.
Oh, this is what
Here's
I was.
The thing, though.
So
I
this
said the same thing.
I mean that line though about.
Yeah,
I mean, what does this even mean? What does this even mean? What Blitzer said? Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Here's Kevin McCarthy saying, "No, we don't need the checks."
I mean,
have you no decency?
This person enhanced unemployment insurance.
Like, I know I'm supposed to be in favor of Wolf Blitzer, but that just seems so stupid.
Here's the thing. I don't know what to think. Like I said last time, I really don't know, because I could see like the Republicans sneaking the shit in, just terrible policy measures. Like I said about the liability. I really want to see how that's structured. Like, I think there's a chance she could be right. You know how much I hate Pelosi. Like,
right.
I think I tweeted out earlier, like, she's first up against the wall. Like, I fucking hate her so much. And it's like, the Republicans, like, they hate, like, people hate them and they know people hate them. But, like, I hate Pelosi because she just, everybody loves her. Like,
I mean, okay, so let me go to another tweet here that I pulled up here. So from Glenn Greenwald here, Rokana, that's nice. That's extremely wealthy. Nancy Pelosi mocking her own colleague for urging that economic relief be passed to provide some economics to be passed to provide economic suffering in the pandemic for people who are suffering. Wow. So,
like I said. I mean,
but
it's probably despicable that she.
Taking a shot at Rokana in the middle of it just because he's been like one of the only people that's advocating for it.
That's
so
who she is, man.
I mean, look. So this is what Rokana originally said here.
Let me look at those
tweets. Can you see it here?
I mean, hold on. Let me pull it up.
All right.
So, which one is it?
Right there at the top.
What's the?
So it says, people in need can't wait until February. 1.8 trillion is significant and more than twice Obama's stimulus. It will allow Biden to start with infrastructure. Obama won in 2008 by doing the right thing on TARP instead of what was expedient. Make a deal and put the ball in McConnell's corner. Yeah, I mean, that's...
Yeah, he's right.
He's right. I mean, come on. And there has been disappointment on leftist Twitter circles that he's the only one saying to pass the stimulus. You haven't heard anything from the squad, from AOC or Rashida or any of them to push for that. So, I mean... It's
crazy that he's the only one.
Yeah, I mean, I think they all should be pushing to pass that stimulus by now. And then after all this stuff that Pelosi's doing, and she just comes away with a really, really bad look. No.
Yeah, he says it right here.
What is it?
He's probably the only one saying it. As the Senate confirmation hearing continues, remember that 74% of Americans want us to pass a COVID relief bill before confirming a new Supreme Court justice.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. This is a fucking farce that they're getting away with this. That they're not hammering them like Roe does there,
right,
over and over again. Every single question in the confirmation hearing should be, "We need to be passing a stimulus. This is insane." Like, they can't believe they're going along with it. And he tweeted out the length of their previous confirmations. The shortest one, I guess, is Ginsburg in 50 days.
Yes.
The other one's in 72, and they're trying to rush it in like a week.
That's basically what they're gonna do, and I promise you, they're gonna do it. I just know they're gonna do it. And Pelosi's progressive challenger also tweeted about this, where he basically just said, "We want Pelosi replaced with a voice willing to actually show up for debate and be engaged in a reasonable exchange." I mean, she just came off of so damn unhinged in that, and Pelosi did. So, I mean, I would like to see Buttar beat her. I mean, I'm not gonna act like that's likely, but it would be great to see. Just can you imagine what would happen if she lost?
You know what else they should do too is they should pass it so the Senate has to do it. Like, what? I can't.
That's really, exactly what I'm
really
saying.
Hard to see the good side of this for Pelosi. She's playing right into their hands. Like, she's doing exactly what they want her to do.
That's the problem. She's the holdup here, and then the way that she's operating, everything falls on her. Trump can just keep going at her. The Republicans can say, "Well, the Democrats don't want to negotiate," and in this case, they're right.
Well, her fucking lib base is just so dumb. Like I've always said, the Pelosi stands are the worst, man. Like I get what the Chuds are doing. I get what their project is. They're white nationalists, right? They want to like exclude gays and minorities and like whatever else. You know, that's their thing. But like the liberals are just, there's what is in it for them? I don't understand. Like it's just this whole like virtue signaling thing. Like they get to feel superior to the Chuds. That's like all that's in it for them, right?
And well, okay, let me go to this one. Since we did bring up the judicial hearings, I have a little bit of the questioning from the nominee, Judge Barrett. She was
so, everything she says, every single comment she says is so fucking like I was just trying to imagine myself being in her class. Like I can't, like I would go crazy. Like she's so condescending. Like every single thing she says is like, I can't even believe that she's acting that way in her Senate confirmation like that. It's just
okay. So this is what Amy Klobuchar was questioning her. She was asked if whether it's illegal under federal law to intimidate voters at the polls.
I saw this.
Yep. So let me go to
play this clip.
Yeah. Let me go to that. All right, Amy.
Judge Barrett, under federal law, is it illegal to intimidate voters?
You know I stand Amy.
Senator Klobuchar, I can't characterize the facts in a hypothetical situation, and I can't apply the law to a hypothetical set of facts. I can only decide cases as they come to me, litigated by parties on a full record after fully engaging precedent, talking to colleagues, writing an opinion. And so I can't answer questions like that.
Okay, well, I'll make it easier. 18 U.S.C. 594 outlaws anyone who intimidates, threatens, coerces, or attempts to intimidate, threaten, or coerce any other person for the purpose of interfering with the right of such other person to vote. This is a law that has been on the books for decades. Judge Barrett, under federal law, is it illegal to intimidate?
All right, so... Well, you know, what was really funny to me about that, you know, she's saying you can't apply the law to hypotheticals.
Yeah, that's literally the only thing lawyers do. I can't even believe she got away with that.
Yeah, I mean, look, so for those of y'all that haven't seen us before, we'll say it again. Yeah, Matt and I have gone to law school. We've studied the law. We know our stuff to a certain degree, I'd say. We're pretty decent at this. And one thing I can tell you, when you're in law school, that's all you learn how to do is apply the law to hypothetical situations. That's all you do. You write a bunch of analyses about a hypothetical, and you apply the law to it. They have a whole thing. It's called issue, rule, analysis, and conclusion. That's what you do. You analyze the issue in a hypothetical situation. You apply the rule of law. You do an analysis, and you write a conclusion. So for a judge that's supposed to be on the Supreme Court, supposed to be on the highest court in the land, to say I can't apply the law to an hypothetical situation, it's a complete joke.
Yeah.
You passed me a thing here too.
Which one? I mean,
the marijuana thing. Okay, got it.
No, yeah, we do that later. The other one, I didn't see this clip yet where they called her out for saying sexual preference. And like I don't remember the clip, but like she probably did that shit on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's pretty obvious that
this one.
Any pick is you bookmark it? Oh, you got it.
I just DM'd it too.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think any pick that Trump was gonna go and put forward wasn't gonna be good. That was gonna be a safe bet. But I mean, she just makes her so much as a joke.
On she's just anti-worker, right? Like we talked about the Grubhub thing, right? The story that Soroda broke, and this other one Did you hear about the one with the boss, and he said he was like allowed to like say the N-word? He just couldn't.
Oh,
like the
God.
worker had to prove that it created a hostile work environment.
Oh, really?
I thought what was fascinating. He said he was allowed to say it, right? Like he
was allowed to say it
okay.
because it didn't necessarily
It
create a
wasn't-
hostel work environment.
Exactly. He said it didn't prove that he was
All
harmed
right, so
by creating a
this is
hostile work
from. All
environment.
right, what's the name of the senator
That
that you
was
sent me?
that was too racist for Kavanaugh.
Oh God.
He said she was wrong. Like it.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the senator that you
In
sent
this
me?
clip, she said sexual preference. Here, let's watch the clip.
Right. So Senator Hirono calls off offensive term sexual preference at Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation. Okay, so let's see.
Which convinced Senator Hawley you met his test. This morning, Senator Feinstein asked you a question about the Supreme Court's 2015 decision in Obergefell v. Hodges, a case in which the court recognized the constitutional right to same-sex marriage. And I was disappointed that you wouldn't give a direct answer on whether you agreed with the majority in that case, or if you instead agree with your mentor, Justice Scalia, that no such right exists in the Constitution. So even though you didn't give a direct answer, I think your response did speak volumes. Not once, but twice. You used the term sexual preference to describe those in the LGBTQ community. And let me make clear, sexual preference is an offensive and outdated term. It is used by anti-LGBTQ activists to suggest that sexual orientation is a choice. It is not. Sexual orientation is a key part of a person's identity. That sexual orientation is both a normal expression of human sexuality and immutable was a key part of the majority's opinion in Obergefell, which, by the way, Scalia did not agree with. So if it is your view that sexual orientation is merely a preference, as you noted, then the LGBTQ community should be rightly concerned whether you would uphold their constitutional right to marry. I don't think that you use the term sexual preference.
What? That's it?
Yeah. Yeah.
How would they cut it off there? What happened next?
I have no idea. But, I mean,
Here's a longer clip.
Well, look, if she was on the court for Obergefell, I don't think you have to guess which way that she would have voted on that.
I mean, she says preference. Like, what? Oh, God. She's really going to do this shit?
Yeah. Let's see.
I think they would be more likely to repeal this than Roe v. Wade.
I think both are on the table with her on the court. Really, I don't think you can. If they're gonna go backwards on gay marriage, I don't think there's a reason to think that they wouldn't go backwards on abortion rights either. I mean, look at the laws that they try to put on the books in all these red states. It's ridiculous, you know. So I mean, I think there's legitimate cause for concern to think that a court with her with the Barrett on there would overturn it. But do you want me to play this full clip?
I just want to see how she responds.
All right, let's see.
Skip forward to 2 minutes in.
It was an accident. And one of the legacies of Justice Scalia and his particular brand of originalism is a resistance to recognizing those in the LGBTQ community as having equal rights under our Constitution. In 1996, Justice Scalia wrote a dissenting opinion in Romer v. Evans defending a state's ability to openly discriminate against the LGBTQ community. In 2003, Justice Scalia wrote a dissenting opinion in Lawrence v. Texas defending a state's right
I remember that one.
to prosecute someone for same-sex sexual activity. 10 years later, in
Wow,
US v. Windsor,
you really hated the case.
another dissenting opinion, this time defending the federal government's right to deny federal recognition of same-sex marriages. And of course, 2 years after that, in Obergefell, Justice Scalia wrote yet another dissent, and this time he argued that there was no constitutional right to same-sex marriage. So under Justice Scalia's judicial philosophy, which you have told us is your own, states could openly discriminate against the LGBTQ community. Same-sex couples could be denied the
11 million.
and they could
That sounds
actually be thrown
low.
in jail if they engaged in sexual intercourse. There are an estimated 11 million adults who are identified as LGBTQ living in this country since Obergefell was decided in 2015. Approximately 293,000 same-sex couples have gotten married, and many of these people are rightly afraid that if you are confirmed, you will join with other conservative members of the court to roll back everything the LGBTQ community has done
All right, come on, lady.
for 2 decades and push them back into the closet. Now, 2 sitting justices are already calling for Obergefell to be narrowed.
My mom said she sounded dumb. I don't think she sounds dumb at all.
No.
She's being deliberate.
Right.
Concurring with the court's decision to deny cert in Davis v. Ermel, a case involving a former Kentucky County court who refused to issue marriage certificates to same-sex couples. They accused the court of, and this is Justices
All right, come on, let her respond.
They accused the court of, quote, reading a right to same-sex marriage into the 14th Amendment, even though that right is found nowhere in the text. And these 2 justices signal that Obergefell is a problem that only the court can fix. So, coupled with your use of the term...
There's not going to be time for an answer.
coupled with your view on precedents, and that a justice's view or her own
Okay,
analysis...
you already said that. All right, there's not even time. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, you didn't get should have probably found a video. Should have found a video with the response though, but that's our bad. But still,
video, how is there not a response on here?
Well, but still, no. I mean, the point that she's making. I mean, I think it's extremely valid. Scalia was Barrett's mentor. She ascribes to the same judicial philosophy, and you know, when I was in law school, there was nothing much more annoying than having people say how originalism is the best way to go about it, because just based on, because it all comes down to your ideology. Regardless, at the end of the day, it still comes down to your ideology, because you can twist originalist meanings by saying what you think a word means, and it happens all the time. And let me tell you something, you do not have to take any guesswork when you read Antonin Scalia's opinions. You could tell he's a douchebag by the way he writes.
Okay, so yeah, exactly.
They're
a far-right activist judge, just like all the other right-wing judges on the court.
And
it's absurd.
And let me tell you,
get away with.
And look, let me tell you, when it comes to,
Democrats are so fucking bad, man. They're so bad. Everything, every issue.
No, but when it comes to the Supreme Court justices, the ones that are right-leaning, they do the same shit that the Republican senators do. They'll virtue signal, like if they have the high moral ground, they'll do so in their judicial opinions. You know, and I gotta, and really, when it came to having to read Scalia's opinions, Clarence Thomas's opinions, it's one of the most infuriating parts that I remember from having to read cases.
Yeah, it's so obvious. It's like they have just been pushovers for so long that they've just normalized all this shit, so that like they can't even question the narrative. They won't even bother. They don't even say, look, their judges are clearly, you know what they're doing, right? Like, it should just be, they shouldn't be able to promote these like insane, like, you know, 180-degree projection narratives where they just accuse the other side of doing exactly what they're doing over and over again, and they get away with it. I don't know, bro.
Well,
I think they're fucked, and they have to do something.
Well, I mean, look, in con law, when you're reading a lot of cases, I mean, you notice that they validate or they enumerate a lot of enumerable rights by using the 14th Amendment, right? And you'll hear from originalists when there's some kind of right that they don't think people should have, that it was a post-Civil War amendment, and it's not meant to do all these different things. And I mean, what do you think when you hear those kinds of originalist points of view?
I mean, it's clearly nonsense. You can't, like, it was 1776. What are you crazy? Like, there's just no, we've gone through, like, multiple different iterations of American society since then, and it was fucking, it was a racist, classist document when it was written. Like, it was written from the perspective of white supremacist slaveholders, like, open, avowed white supremacist slaveholders. It wasn't, they were writing it for the ruling class to rule the country in such a specific way and to be able to hold power like that. Like, there's no reason anybody should be using that as more than like a guide stone, like, like the Bible or whatever. It's like a text to base stuff on, but not anything that should have like valid, legal standing.
And especially to try to guess what was in the head of of any of those people. I mean, that's what that's what they really advocate for is.
Maybe we're overestimating how easy it is for them to get in the head of a white supremacist.
Oh well.
Maybe it's a lot easier than
you might have a point there.
Yeah.
But and so this is the person that McConnell is trying to push through in a matter of a couple of weeks.
It really sucks. It's really, really,
and
really
he
absurd.
But he is currently engaged in his own race in Kentucky against bloodbath Amy McGrath.
Yeah, she's gonna lose.
Has no chance in hell. Booker could have beat him, but party interventions. So what? But nevertheless, the debates have been a little bit more captivating than I anticipated. So let me go ahead and play a clip from there that's been going around. Where
from Bloodbath?
Yeah, from Bloodbath and McConnell's debate where she calls him out on COVID. So here we go.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted to watch last night. Where he does that fucking creepy ass laugh.
I mean, you just don't. You negotiate, Senator. It is a national crisis. You knew that the coronavirus wasn't going to end at the end of July. We knew this. I mean, I just think you've got to. And here's the thing: if you want to call yourself a leader,
Bill,
if you want to call yourself a leader, you got to get things done. And those of us that served in the Marines, we don't just point fingers at the other side. We get the job done.
Did you go like our stream?
Yeah, we got a like. Thank you. Appreciate you. Remember if anybody's watching, please do feel free to go ahead and leave a like, share, subscribe. Why don't you? It's all good. It's all love. All right. So, so there was McConnell's turtle laugh in the face of COVID, where I think she really did a good job of hammering the point home. Because, he isn't just any other senator. He's the leader of the Senate. He has a lot of control over what comes through and what is brought to the floor. And this crisis, I think, is the response to the crisis is as much botched by him as it is by Trump. And for that matter, Pelosi. But that is really why all of them shouldn't be in the position that they are. But the answer we're gonna get with McConnell, I mean, he's not gonna lose to McGrath, and she's a centrist neoliberal who was giving that campaign money she was donated to help Trump win in her neighboring state of Ohio. So
she was the end product of the run, like a half a centimeter to the left of the Republicans, right? Like, she's the far right neoliberal, and it's like clearly a failing strategy. But it's like, it doesn't even matter that it's, like I keep saying over and over again, it's like, you don't win people by being a crappier version of the Republicans. You win people by being a strong Democrat.
Yes.
So obvious.
And when I was on the platform committee, the one thing I said was, if you're going to be an opposition party, be an opposition party.
Yeah.
And the mindset,
but won't even present.
No, and the mindset of a neoliberal is, oh, we can't do that. What if it angers Republicans?
I know, because they're so cucked. Like, they need to take control. Like, you don't even have to do any different policies. Like, you could tell your donors, like, listen, guys, I'm just saying this for show. But just get better at the messaging. Like, fucking get out there and stop letting them own you on every single issue. Over and over and over again. Just
speaking of
stand your
messaging,
ground. Say shit, back it up. Like,
well, speaking of messaging, Biden has a new campaign ad out. And they took a little bit of
and like Carl was saying about the 25th Amendment thing. Sorry, before I forget.
Right.
That's such a dumb strategy. Like, under anyone's imagination, that's such a fucking dumb strategy. And you compare that to, what if they had spent that time she was doing that, fighting her ass off and going on TV talking about the stimulus, talking about how people need money?
Yeah.
Isn't it 100% clear that those two, like, one of those would help her a lot, would help the Democrats, and would coincidentally also help the American people, and the other one does nothing except give her, like, not even 5 minutes headline trying to say shit like, oh, like, I'm throwing shade at the president. Like, it's so performative and weak, and it's ineffective. It's like she got nothing out of it. And now the precedent's also there too, so they can pretty much, pseudo impeach anybody, like super impeach somebody if they, like, get this committee, right? Like,
yes,
it's such a bad strategy, and that's just textbook for her. It's like, I can't even believe it, and people just take her seriously still. It's just, they should be, like, laughing at her when she walks in the room. Like,
yeah. Well, okay. So back to what we're talking about with messaging. So the Biden campaign tried a different strategy, I guess, with their messaging with their recent campaign ad. I think safe to say probably exercise in pandering with probably a base that's gonna go about 80-20 their way anyway, but. Or, I mean, either way, I mean, they're going to get... I don't know who this is marketed at. I really don't. But I'll just go ahead and play their new campaign ad.
You know why I don't vote?
I didn't see this yet. Where's the link?
Because as a black man, I just feel like there's no hope.
Got it up in the bookmarks.
To go back to China, taking the coronavirus as a joke. And that's the part that frightened me. When you choose a president, it's supposed to be a knockout. Then why this situation doesn't entice me? If you got the answers to get me out this dark path, my brother, enlighten me.
We always telling each other to stay woke. That's why this time we got to use our voice and you have to vote. The facts should show. Biden has a plan for African Americans. We're not dealing with your average Joe. I see the way you looking right now. You know exactly where I'm going to go with this. For 4 years, we had Trump in office, and we made the most of it.
This guy's speaking truth, man.
That could be in office, that could give us a chance to have home ownership. I'm talking to all of you. $640 billion over the course of 10 years, so we can finally get housing that's affordable. Look at him now. I got him stuck. With Biden and Harris' plan, we got to trust, because we can't say we support Obamacare but rock with Trump.
So Harris and Biden is going to help with black ownership, huh? Okay. Maybe it's true. But what about the black colleges and all the funding for the HBCUs? Is Biden going to follow in Obama's footsteps and go all out with health care? Or is he going to laugh at us like our president now while our people struggle on welfare?
You see, I did my research, which is
exactly
why
terrible.
I rebuttal that. Biden and Harris planning to put $70 billion to the HBCU. We're not just talking about a couple racks. Giving teachers a raise. What Trump attempted to do, they plan to double that. And as far as the rich and poor with schools, the whole goal is to end the funding gap.
That sounds legit. Only if our president now would quit. Hey, did you know that unemployment for African Americans is up this 50%? So when you tell me to go and vote, well, the reason why it's such a hard one, because how we expect our people to get jobs, and the president can't even get the job done.
Bro, I understand it's a process, so I'm not rushing you. Take your time. You know what, speaking of that, I got the perfect place to take you that'll change your mind.
Oh. Okay. That was so cringe. Yeah, so who's that aimed at, bro?
You know exactly who the fuck it's aimed at, man. It's aimed at Milwaukee. It's aimed at the fucking 80,000 Milwaukeeans who didn't vote last time because they said Hillary was cringe. Like, it's couldn't be more transparent. And I don't understand, like, what the point is. Someone's going to sit through this thing, this 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and, like, watch these guys, like, give pretty
like a fake-ass rap battle.
Like,
with like the cringiest neo-lib policies, and then blurring out the stats on unemployment. Like if he's,
what the hell was that about?
I have no idea, man. I have no idea why they blurred that shit out. Like he just dropped like the sick Eminem verse, and he's blurring out all the curse words or some shit like that.
How come they didn't put a beat on it either?
Bro,
like,
well, because I mean, when you're freestyling, bro, you don't always got a beat. Sometimes you got to go a cappella.
Yeah, but like there was no flow. It was just they were just talking, and it happened to rhyme a little bit. Like
a little bit too. I mean, like, the rhymes weren't even that solid, bro. Oh, no.
They were just talking in like an aggressive style.
Yeah, that's
like,
not I think whoever arranged that probably has never seen a rap battle.
I mean, these guys in the commercial, those guys obviously like, you know. Presumably,
look,
as like young men, like our age,
maybe.
like I've seen rap battles, like
And I don't think you'd ever catch anybody trying to rap battle to vote for Joe Biden. Like, I mean, can you imagine that?
Funny.
Imagine you go out to rap battle, you see the dude just take the stage. Think about it like 8 Mile style, just looking all hard as he could be. And then all of a sudden, then like the first thing out of his mouth, you gotta vote for Biden and Harris. And
I mean, damn, dude. I mean, it could be worse. It really could have been
vote
worse.
for the cop.
It could have been worse. Like that fucking Hamilton shit that Hillary did. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hillary did lots of cringe shit. Like,
that was pretty.
Biden's lucky because he is so old and lazy and like hates young people, so he like won't pander to them. But like Democrats usually pander so cringe,
right?
Like they're just so painfully uncool. It's like Sirota was talking about.
So you don't think they got any cool points off? Are you saying they didn't get any cool points for posting a rap battle ad video? No.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
You're laughing, but I don't know if it's as cringe as you think it is. Like I'm saying, I'm thinking about it. Think about it. It's not a song, right? It's just two dudes talking, basically. So it's like a commercial.
It's supposed to be a rap battle.
But it's not really a rap battle, though. It's just two dudes like discussing politics.
But that's why it's so cringe, because it's supposed to be a rap battle.
I don't really think it is, though. Like,
bro,
I mean, kind of. It's supposed to like mimic a rap battle. I think that's cool,
no,
actually, dude. No, I'm gonna stand this. Yeah, this is cool. This is like, obviously it's not cool, but like,
oh no,
it's a commercial.
We're gonna have to clip that one out. That's gonna be on the sound effects now.
It's a 2-minute segment.
Matt saying that this was cool. Boy. Yeah.
It's like, first of all, okay, like I said, it's not as cringe as it could be.
Okay.
Second of all, I think it might be effective. I think it's.
You think it
you
might
know
be
why I think it might be effective?
All right,
because it's talking policy. That's why I think it'll be effective.
Oh my god!
Discussing actual policies, actual concrete material factors in life. That's not something that these assholes discuss ever. He's giving like solid, he's whatever's there in the platform that's good.
It was so terribly done.
Like,
but look, this is the thing. There's one part of it. So I mean, it's presumably it's supposed to be marketed towards millennials, maybe Gen Z, African American vote, right?
Yeah.
So what part of that does Biden not already have with them?
That's like the ones who stay home.
The ones that stay home. Oh,
that's what this is for. This is for like you to like if you have any homies who like don't want to go vote.
All right,
you are supposed to watch this.
Oh, so I'm supposed to go to the homies and play the rap battle, and then they're gonna get a ball on.
You take the arguments he makes in the video and you tell them to your friends.
All right, do I rap them?
I mean, you can. I'm sure you can do it a lot better than this. Yo, Biden and Harris be banging, y'all. We got the small business dollars for
Well,
y'all.
okay, since we're on the topic of rap, we do have rapper Kanye West. This is Corona in the time of Kanye.
Far-right
Kanye in the time of
Kanye.
Corona. He released his first presidential ad. Now, we know from his campaign, he's basically trying to turn the United States into a theocracy.
Weird. He's so
he's
weird, man.
probably about the only person that could challenge Trump in terms of being egotistical. But let's go ahead. I haven't seen the ad. Matt, have you seen it?
God.
Have you seen the ad?
Yeah, I watched it.
I have not seen it. So
this is cringe. This is so much worse.
All right. So let's see what we got here, Kanye.
This not only doesn't talk policy, but it's fucking, a theocratic nightmare.
True justice. We have to think about all these things together as a people. To contemplate our future, to live up to our dream, we must have vision. We as a people will revive our nation's commitment to faith, to what our Constitution calls
Kentucky
the free
pool?
exercise of religion, including, of course, prayer. Through prayer, faith can be restored.
I can't see it.
We as a people are called to a greater
19%.
We are not
19% in Kentucky?
world,
Holy
be
shit.
servants to each other, to encourage each other, to help each other, to lift up each other, our fellow Americans, that we
Holy
may all
fuck.
prosper together. We have to act on faith with the sure knowledge that we are pursuing the right goals and doing the right things.
Joe Jorgensen won the poll. That's a bullshit poll, bro.
Hold up.
Families are the building blocks of society, of a nation. By turning to faith, we will be the kind of nation, the kind of people God intends us to be.
I am Kanye West, and I approve this message.
Oh boy, Kanye. Yeah, okay, between the rap battle and Kanye's ad, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. This tweet has one of those manipulated media things on it.
Which ones?
The tweet with the polls on it. He tweeted out like this poll results, and it was Joe Jorgensen was first place at 36%, and it has one of those manipulated media things.
Oh.
Well,
okay, so what do you think of Kanye's ad, Matt?
Man, I think it's terrible.
Well, look, before he even released the ad, we knew that he had, like, every part of his platform had to deal with religion, God, prayer. So I assume he's wanting everybody to fall in line behind his God and his religion. And his ad is reflective of that. So, do you give Kanye a chance to do better than the other third-party candidates?
Yeah, I think he will.
You do think so?
I mean, I don't know what Jorgensen's deal is. I don't know if she's popular. I think what's his name? The guy last time got a lot of votes because there
Gary
was
Johnson.
There was a lot of disaffected Republicans and fiscal conservatives or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think this time those dudes are probably all voting for Biden. I don't think there's going to be too much going to Jorgensen.
Yeah.
And then Howie's like not even campaigning, man. He's
he basically.
So what's his deal?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he has the best platform.
Yeah, of course he does.
Of course, but I mean, Kanye's platform is probably the worst. And before anybody who hasn't seen us before says that we're anti-religion, we just spent like the last 3 days doing stories that were like very pro-Catholic, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but
pro-Catholic. We were kind of harsh on the evangelicals though.
A little bit, yeah. We're a little bit harsher on the evangelicals than we were on the Catholics,
man.
But yeah, I mean, I'd kind of.
I was handing out flyers today. At the early polling place, you should get involved, everybody.
Do you think
this lady came up to me? I was talking about defunding the police, and I was trying to get people to vote against this judge and a couple other things. And the this lady came up to me and she was like, you know, one of those like religious nuts. She was like trying to hand me like, you know, like Bible stuff.
So wait a minute. So then you're going there to.
They're talking to me. I couldn't get away because I was standing at the polling thing and I couldn't leave. So I just had to sit there and she like talked to me, and I was trying to like tell her about socialism and how. Like,
so wait, you're canvassing, right? That's your position as a canvas, and then you're getting canvassed and trying to get radical. They're trying to radicalize you.
I was trying to radicalize her, man. Like,
and she's over here trying to radicalize you to become an evangelical.
Well, she was all on about abortion as usual, right?
Of
and
course.
I was like, you can't use that as your only thing. Like, everything else those people do is detestable. I was like, we're trying to defund the police because they get 40% of our city's budget. You know, we spend $4.5 million a day just on the cops. And we're lucky if we spend that in an entire year on social services and things that are actually needed: education, healthcare, housing.
Did you use a religious argument to push why all of that is actually the Christian position? I told her that
Jesus was a socialist. I told her that like that's the way to be. Like, I told her the rich don't deserve their money; they don't earn it. They make their money exploiting people. And we should be sick of it. All the government does is funnel money to the top and screw the taxpayers.
And that's the opposite of what Jesus wants.
Exactly. And then she just went on some, like, you know,
anti-abortion
like we're all going to hell kind of thing. And I'm like, exactly. Boy. We got to stop treating our people like this. We got to take care of our neighbors, man. It's crazy. And I was just getting frustrated with her because she was just, I was like, I went to Catholic school my whole life. Like, my kid goes to Catholic school. Like, you know, you're not going to teach me about religion, lady. Like, I know what's going on over there. Like,
yeah, like
I'm trying to teach you about some other shit.
Right. I mean, for people that haven't seen this before, Matt went to Catholic school for what was it?
I just said that. You don't have to like verify.
Yeah. But I mean, like, for how many years did you go?
My whole life. My whole life. Never not been to Catholic school until, well, I guess I even went to like Catholic law school for a year. Like, I've done lots of Catholic school.
Yeah, okay. So basically this evangelical Christian lady was barking at the wrong tree. Yeah.
They don't care. They don't
no, I don't think they do. And like, and
crazy shit.
But see, that's the other part of it. I mean, I don't know how educated they are in their own religion either.
She knew Bible verses and stuff.
I mean, you know that part of it too. But I mean, when it comes to applying that to the way they want to apply their religion to their politics. It goes way beyond just abortion.
That's what I kept saying to her over and over again. You can't make that your end all be all. It's really, so silly. Like,
if you go and if you study the Bible and you study what it says about abortion, it's really not all that clear cut.
I mean, didn't it say you can get an abortion? I'm pretty sure it does.
That if anything,
it has instructions for it, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it actually says that, like, especially if if the woman gets pregnant out of wedlock. So
exactly, it's like it basically says like it, you know, if you get raped or the baby's sick, you should get rid of it, right? Like, I guess that would be my takeaway. Like, or you can get rid of it, you know, like, and. It's just ahistorical, and you know what it is. It's that fucking wedge issue. It's that shit that they do. They make it on purpose, and they've made this whole generation of people fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. These people are bonkers, man. And there's millions of them at all walks of life, and like a lot of them are like very successful, powerful people, right? Mm-hmm. And they have these insane views that it's like, you know, like you said, like Kanye's saying, like theocratic, and it's like that's. Another one of those things. I feel like people are getting intensely religious because things are so shitty, right? Like, we're like entering this climate emergency. Everybody's broke. Everybody's fucking getting fired. Nobody has any kind of like long-term stability. Like, yeah, there's people who are like looking for outlets, right? Mm-hmm. Like, people are getting into conspiracy shit. They're getting into like radical groups. They're getting into religion.
Yep.
And not a good sign, man. I think we're in trouble, dude.
Well, you think that's trouble. I'm trying to get a good segue for this, but I don't really have one. But so if y'all remember a little while back, there was a viral celebrity video that made the whole world cringe in unison, where every celebrity was out there singing Imagine, and it totally just came off as stupid. We have something out now that might one up that. So in regards to voting. Celebrities are taking it upon themselves to go ahead and try to stir up the vote in their own unique celeb way. And I think it's meant to. I don't really get why they did this. I'm guessing it made some kind of point. Maybe Matt, you can decipher it. But this is the video they put out. They teamed up with Now This and a few celebrities, including was it Mark Ruffalo, Chris Rock, Sarah Silverman, Tilly Haydish, a few of them. But I'll go ahead and just play the video and let you cringe along with the rest of us. So
I'm naked.
I'm completely butt-ass naked.
I'm naked. I'm like naked.
There isn't a man behind me. These are my hands.
Why you want me to be naked?
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Ruffalo, put your clothes on.
To be honest, I wish I could cover my hands with my boobs, but here we are.
I'm here to talk to you about voting. Did you know that ballots could be naked?
And if you don't do exactly what I tell you, your ballot could get thrown out.
This is my ballot. Just got it.
First of all, when your ballot comes, you're supposed to read the instructions.
Read and follow the instructions that come with your ballot.
If they say to use a black pen, use a black pen.
I know that's like why would they do this with all the like moral panic shit going on? Is the other thing. It's like the fucking right is obsessed with like pedos and like sex criminals, and you're making this like naked ad like it all. It just seems to be contrary to their whole like courting the Republican strategy.
And you don't want to have one of those.
Number 3, mail your ballot in.
They're so dumb. They're so bad at politics.
Don't sit on them. Get those things out ASAP.
Like now. Do it!
Get it in as soon as you can.
I gotta get my ballot to the motherfucking post office. Let's go!
Please vote.
Take your clothes off and vote. Vote, vote, vote. Everyone's voice matters in this election. Please vote.
America needs you.
okay. Okay, Matt. So yeah. I think this is part of why so many people are starting to find celebrities insufferable, because they do shit like this.
Yeah, of course. They're so sick of being like locked inside and not being able to like be the star of the show.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just gonna make people more annoyed at them. And the obvious thing is they don't really care about a lot of these issues. They don't care about stuff that doesn't bother their brunch, like you talked about wanting to rally against brunch.
Fuck their brunch.
But I mean, that's really what it comes down to. They want somebody that doesn't speak mean, and somebody that isn't gonna go and upset their sense of normalcy or their paychecks. I mean, they don't want that disrupted in any way, from either what Trump does or even from the opposite side when you're talking about actually raising taxes on these people. So they do these kinds of ridiculous things, and I mean, I don't see that going well for what purpose they did. I mean, what was the purpose behind that? I mean, did you have an idea what they were trying to do?
Yeah, there's a thing in Pennsylvania where you have to put it in 2 envelopes.
Okay.
So they were trying to make that a memorable commercial so that people would remember to fucking put their envelopes together. And I guess people nationwide would check to make sure they had their envelopes right. Like, I mean, that's fine, right? Like, I just think it's
did they have
weird.
To streak?
Exactly. I think that's dumb and tone deaf, right?
Yeah. That's what I was. That was the term I was looking for. Tone deaf. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the $12,000 freezer thing. It's like, we don't want to see you assholes running around naked. Like, people are suffering. Like, be chill. And
what? Nobody's able to go see their movies. They all, like, they're
no award shows.
No award shows. Nobody's adorning them with accolades and telling them how awesome they are. Yeah, and then they have to deal with the Twitter mob when they throw an out of touch take out there, and they realize people don't really like them personally so much as as they probably would like to believe. I mean, I'm sure that stuff is probably going to make the libs, you know, throw their hands up in joy. But for most people, I think it's just going to annoy them.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, yeah, Sarah Silverman's hot though. She's so hot.
Well, all right. Well, we only have a couple more stories that I wanted to go ahead and get into here. First thing is, just really briefly, there was an ABC News poll that came out yesterday. Has Joe Biden ahead 12 points against Trump in the general election matchup? That's 5 points up since September. Now, if you're keeping score there, he's gone up by 12 in a couple of polls now. 20 in the Boston Herald poll, and now this one, right? So things in the election all seem to be pointing in one direction at I mean, it's not looking good for Trump. So
yeah,
I mean, what are you thinking at this point, Matt? You don't pound the gavel until it's election night and he's lost?
Yeah, man, like I said, anything could happen. Like in time of COVID, you know, like you can get sick and die tomorrow. Like shit can change at the drop of a hat. Like there could be, you know, like more terror attacks. There could be, Trump could pull out any kind of crazy shit. Like I was saying, like I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of fucking alien false flag thing, you know, like I think he is capable of doing anything. Like I don't think he has any qualms about whatever kind of like harm it's caused to have his like ratings, you know. It's what he sees. It's like he needs a ratings bump. And he's like, he can't go do his rallies and shit. I mean, he's trying to, right?
Yeah,
like,
COVID and all.
He wants to go and kiss all the boys. He's talking about, like,
yeah, them steroids are hella drugs.
Like, do you think that's him like trying to like be like say something that's like oh, like the libs will love this, you know? Like, you think he's trying to like?
I think he's trying to do LGBTQ outreach.
I think it's more than that. I think it's like he's trying to be like woke, right? Like he's trying to like appeal to like the liberals, like the way Joe Biden's trying to appeal to the chuds.
Or
like,
yeah.
I really think that's what he thinks.
Well, like with the polling going the way they are, I mean, in one of the states, my home state of Texas, it's been characterized as up for grabs this time, as it has been, and I've been disappointed every election for a while now. But so part of the response to the polls being so close in Texas, my governor Abbott, has been doing some pretty nasty voter suppression efforts. So, and it's currently locked in a legal battle that is getting overturned, and his directive is getting pushed back, is pushing through. But the whole idea is that they're going to have one drop box per county. That's what the governor wants to do. So let's see. A federal appeals court on Saturday granted a temporary administrative stay, allowing the governor for a one location per county for ballot drop boxes to remain in place for now. And the grant from the United States Court of Appeals Fifth Circuit means the directive from Abbott will stand until the court has considered the state's motion for a stay on its own merits. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has filed an emergency motion for Saturday for a stay pending the appeal to block a district court order that would have allowed county officials to accept hand delivery of mail-in ballots at any county annex or satellite office. The motion seeks to require eligible voters to hand deliver their ballots to a single early day voting clerk's office to ensure ballot security, his office said in a release. So it's more of this.
Away with this shit.
Yeah, just to give you, I mean, Texas is the second largest state in the country. We have the second in terms of size, and second in terms of population. And just in Dallas County alone, you can see from this tweet here, There we go. The first day of early voting, we had 59,000 votes for one county official reported, and it can go up at that point that they tweeted it, and it will. People were in line to early vote. So that's one county, 59,000 people. Now, who does this really benefit? Voter suppression. Now,
so far away.
Of course, voter suppression always favors a Republican, but even more than that, in Texas, we have a few major cities, and we have a few, but most of the state is rural. So if you can see from here, on this map that I got off of Twitter, here we go. So in Loving County, that's one of the rural counties here. There's a population of 169 people in that county, and there's one ballot drop-off location. So, I mean, that seems reasonable. Now, Harris County, that's the city of Houston. There's 4.7 million people, and they all have to do their drop box
at why can't
one
they
location.
Just mail it?
Yeah. I mean, of course, they want to go and suppress the vote, so that's why they're making it difficult to hand in mail-in ballots. I mean, I'm not even sure as a Texas voter what kind of restrictions that they lifted for absentee ballots, because if they did change it, it was very, very late. You have to have one of these reasons that are listed in order to be able to qualify to have an absentee ballot normally, which is stupid.
Oh,
yeah,
I thought they approved something over the summer to expand it. What was that story about? I thought they did do a couple of things to make it easier for the pandemic.
Yeah, because people were bugging out because they're not allowing any kind of mail-in voting. But like usually, you have to have some kind of disability. You have to be out of state at the time of their voting, or you have to be incarcerated or something like that. That's
no, really?
Yeah, it's very, very limited as to when they let you have an absentee ballot in the first place.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yep, and just to go and further clarify who was behind this ruling here. So, in a late-night ruling, the Fifth Circuit Court upholds Governor Abbott's order that limits counties to one mail-in ballot drop-off location. A 3-judge panel, all Trump nominees, says Abbott, in fact, expanded access to voting by allowing drop-offs before Election Day. Oh, yeah. Good for them. Good for them.
They didn't have drop boxes before, right? Isn't this new?
Yeah, but I mean, the one drop off location expanding the access to that is
I mean, I don't know how you roll on that, right? Because like if he's adding a new feature, if he's making it easier to vote at all.
I mean, it's not even easier.
I mean,
they add a drop box thing.
Looking at it. Right,
they add a Dropbox feature and then make it completely inaccessible to any county.
I'm just trying to see how you would rule. Like, how would you rule against that? Like, because it's pretty clever of them, actually. Like, devious of them, right? Because what are you going to say? That it suppresses the vote, but you're technically, in fact, the opposite of suppressing the vote. You're just doing it in a very, like, someone has to challenge the way it's done, you know?
It's like putting you in handcuffs and then saying the key is in a vat of acid and telling you to get, like, you can get the key. That's a bad example, but you get my point.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like, you have early access. You have more access to voting this way. The only thing is,
with the voting laws, right? It's so easy to like.
Yeah. So I mean, I think this pisses off a lot of people because it's just gonna make it a pain in the ass, even more of a pain in the ass to vote, and I don't think it's gonna make anybody happy. So,
if there's not that many mail-in ballots, you have to be disabled or out of state to get one.
Yeah.
It seems like it won't be that big of an issue either.
It might be. It might be because I think they did expand the absentee ballot at the end of it, but
that's fucked up. They're gonna make everybody wait in line.
That's exactly what they're gonna do.
I'm pissed off about that everyone's gonna have to go vote in person.
Yeah,
than about the drop boxes, you know.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, if Texas is leaning more and more purple, I mean, I think that's great news. Apparently, though, it's not from people that have lived here, even though like there's been Democratic strongholds all along, but we're getting an influx from people moving from New York and California to come to live here, and a lot of the right wingers are upset because a lot of those people are bringing their politics with them. So
yeah, that's such a fucking myth. There's no way that's actually happening. Like in any kind of sizable numbers that it would affect
that it's that big of an exodus where the state has been the state has been leaning blue a little bit, like enough for it to be some kind of conversation. And you do get you get people from moving from in state, from out of state, and a lot of people leaving from California.
But there's like, any city that has a lot of urban areas is going to have plenty of Democratic voters, right?
Mm-hmm.
People who live in the city who like go to school are not idiots. They're not going to keep voting for the chuds.
And people that move from rural areas to city areas often changing their politics after they've been exposed to other points of view.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
So, but I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up
like all over the country
the stream soon. So
it's this like dying minority of like pissed off old white people who are trying to like hold on to their grip, right? All over the country.
No,
It's,
definitely.
like, all over the South, all over the Northeast too. It's like what happened in Iowa,
Right.
Like Mayor Pete managed to like stay in the race and do that,
Well, by employing
regime change, like go into all these fucking rural districts and convincing like 8 old white people and getting their vote that counts the same as like hundreds of like young, still mostly white people, but just like not old reactionary psychos.
Yes,
in, the suburbs and the cities. And that's what the Republicans do. It's like a microcosm of it all over the country.
Exactly.
Plus the whole, the undemocratic nature of the Senate to begin with. It's just, like I was saying at the beginning, I'll tie back to the beginning of the episode, like I was saying about, the Constitution being written by, white supremacist slaveholders in order for the elites to rule the country in the iron grip. Like, it's not something that we should be preserving, even if we could,
Yep. Well, all right, everybody. I'm going to thank y'all for joining us on this edition of Unelectable Airways. We are streaming, we're going to be trying to stream every night. So,
tomorrow we're interviewing, what's his face?
Hunter Penn. Isn't it tomorrow?
No,
sorry, Hunter is Thursday. Who do we got tomorrow?
What's his name? Matt. The guy was on the Kenzo stream.
Right. Okay, so yeah,
he does Midwest Socialist.
And we will do that on Periscope, is where we do our interviews. So go ahead and check us out there. You can follow the show at Unelectable A. That's the only one I don't got listed up here, but you can follow Matt. You can check out. We each have our handles on the screen there. So if you want to follow us, go ahead and do so at those spots. All right. So
what's his name? Tapia.
Yep.
Tapia.
All right, everybody. We're out.
All right, later.